Hello, guys, and welcome back to another episode, or the very first episode of 2024 with Code Rhetoric with Tam Talk, where we talk about all things coding related, and that's medical coding, that is. So, on today's episode, I want to talk about place of service codes because I speak a lot about remote coding and taking your coding breaks from various locations, wherever that may be. But I want to dive right into place of service codes, which are actually codes, right? Medical coding codes, and the place, and depending on where we are and where the coding services were performed, we have to make sure we put the right service code in, place of service code. So let's dive right in. I have my laptop here in front of me. So we're going to talk about place of service code. So for those of you who are new to medical coding, what exactly is a place of service code? So according to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid, or CMS, as we know it, place of service codes are two-digit codes placed on healthcare professional claims to indicate the setting in which a service was provided. So not only are you coding the actual service that is being performed, and most importantly, is that we share where that service was actually provided, because it could also impact the reimbursement from the insurance carrier to the healthcare facility. So whether that service was performed in an office, professional office like the doctor's office, or whether that patient was inpatient and the services were performed or provided in a hospital setting, we want to make sure that place of service code is correct when the claim goes out. So again, CMS has a list of place of service codes that we must ensure that are appropriate and correct when we're reporting our services to the insurance company. So I have my laptop here. You can't see it, but it is here. So I'm going to pull up what CMS states. We'll just kind of talk through a couple of them, and I'll I'll include the link in the description box below if you want to take a look at all of them. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. I know off the top of my head, but we're going to go on to see what CMS is saying about these codes. So yes, so it's very important. Not only did you have the correct code for the service that was actually performed, as I previously mentioned, we want to make sure we're actually providing the correct place of service code, right? So we'll get into a couple of them. I would say the most common ones. So there's one for pharmacy, there's one for telehealth, school, everywhere. So of course, if all medical services aren't provided in a medical facility, sometimes the medical professional has to go to where the patient actually is in order to provide the medical treatment. So you have a list of things, and it may come to a surprise to you, or perhaps it doesn't come to a surprise as a surprise to you. Some of these places of service codes or locations. So a random one is homeless shelter, right? And that is place of service code. And let me go back and say that the place of service codes are two-digit codes. So 2 digits. And usually start with 0, like 0, 1. It starts with 0, or it goes all the way up to, you can, like 24, 22, you'll see the list. But I want to talk about like homeless shelter. So homeless shelter is, according to CMS, is a facility or location whose primary purpose is to provide temporary housing to homeless individuals, such as emergency shelters, individual family shelters. So their place of service code is 04. Yes, 04. There's a place of service code for a homeless shelter, and that became effective in January of 2003. So let's scroll down to look at some more. So we know, of course, we have school listed here, which is 03. We know what the school is for. We're there to learn. So let's see here. Excuse me. Ooh. So the medical office, the doctor's office, so that place of service code is 11. And the office is defined as the location other than a hospital or a skilled nursing facility, or you may see it as SNF, SNF, or military treatment facility, community health center, state or local public health clinic, or intermediate care facility where the health professional routinely provides health examinations, diagnosis, and treatment of illness or injury on an ambulatory basis. So I now kind of go back through that again. So an office setting, which is place of service code 1111, is a location other than, so it's not any of the ones I'm getting ready to list. The location other than a hospital, skilled nursing facility, military treatment facility, community health center, state or local public health clinic, or intermediate care facility, where the health professional routinely provides health examinations, diagnosis, and treatment of illness or injury on an ambulatory basis. Again, that is place of service 11, which represents the office. Now let's find one for, let's go with, oh, this is a good one, urgent care. The urgent care facility is an urgent care, like a hospital, outpatient facility, provider's office. What is it? So we'll read what CMS considers urgent care to be. So of course that place of service code is 22020. So the description that they give is, an urgent care facility is a location that is distinct from a hospital, emergency room, an office, or a clinic, whose purpose is to diagnose and treat illness or injury for unscheduled ambulatory patients seeking immediate medical attention. And I'll reread that. It is a location distinct from a hospital, emergency room, an office, or a clinic whose purpose is to diagnose and treat illness or injury for unscheduled ambulatory patients seeking immediate medical attention. So again, that is for an urgent care facility, which is represented by place of service code 20. So again, on top of just, again, like actually providing the codes for the actual treatment or the services that were performed by the healthcare provider or the facility, you want to make sure you have the right place of service codes. We tend to go bypass that, as it may be something that is, common, or just maybe added on by someone who's doing the demographic information, the billing. But again, you want to make sure that the place of service codes is correct. Because sometimes it may not be sometimes we may receive a denial, and it may not even be a medical coding, such as a diagnosis or a procedural code denial, or the reason for the denial. It could actually be the place of service or where the services were actually performed. That could be incorrect. So we want to make sure that is also taken into consideration, that it is appropriate when we're submitting our claims to the insurance company. So yes, so as I mentioned, I will leave the link of all of CMS's place of service codes in the description box for you to peruse and to take a look at. And so so I am glad to be back. I've been gone for a minute, a long minute. So again, this is a coder lifestyle page. We'll be learning, living, and taking our coding breaks this year. So so to kick off, we're going to be talking about the place of service codes. So if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button, as well as if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. So until next time, make sure to take your coding break and to take a look at those place of service codes. All right, we're out.